Hey everyone, welcome to another review. It's been a while, so let's kick this off. We're going to start with an anime. This time, unlike Neon Genesis Evangelion, we're not doing episode by episode. This is a pretty short series, so I was able to watch the whole thing. And let's do 2011 High School of the Dead. High School of the Dead is exactly what the title implies. What's happened is an outbreak, an epidemic has happened, and a group of kids, high schoolers, have been stuck in their school while the world goes to hell. Zombies are all over the place, though this show never explicitly calls them zombies, but that's pretty much what they are. And what we do is we follow a bunch of students who are basically trying to survive. Main character's name is Takashi. He's brought along by his former girlfriend Rei, a fencing student by the name of Sakuro, another one named, her name is Takagi, and then Harano is the geeky one of the group. They're also followed by a little girl who joins them halfway through the series, and a nurse who's there nothing but for fan service. This show is okay. Pretty much one of the details about the show is the fact that it is mostly fan service. This is an anime show that if I would have saw this when I was 14, 15, 16, 17, I probably really enjoyed it because it has everything what you want. There's massive amounts of violence in this show. You know, whether people are getting shot, people are getting beat with blunt instruments, blood is flying all over the place in episodes. There's an enormous amount of fan service to the point where anytime they can, they will show you some woman's panties, thong, whatever underwear they're wearing, as well as you will see women's breasts. While there's only one episode where I believe there's semi-nudity, women's chests are glorified. There are shots where a male and a female will be talking, but they will make sure that the focal point of the shot is the woman's chest. So there's stuff like that. The nurse, the character, she really only exists just to run around and have her boobies jump up and down and jiggle. That's pretty much it. As far as the plot goes, it's okay. It's very reminiscent of The Walking Dead, where we don't know how the outbreak started, we don't know why it started, and the show's not really about finding out those answers. It's about our main crew of Takashi and the rest of the gang surviving through it all. And that's fine, but it also has moments where you they throw in melodrama for the sake of melodrama, where they have things that they set up and they really don't know how to pay off. Animation is very good, I have to say that. The voice cast, I'm watching the American voice cast, they present themselves well. The writing is, I can't tell if the writing is spotting because it's dubbed, or I can't figure out if the writing is spotting because the story arcs really don't go anywhere. Story arcs come and go as they please. They set up this one teacher in the first 3 episodes to be something, and then he literally disappears for 8. He comes in the second to last episode and the third to last episode and really doesn't mean anything. And a lot of plot lines just happen out of nowhere and and they've resolved themselves. Either that or they just skip over them and say, we don't care. There's a whole thing late in this show when they meet Takagi's parents, where all of a sudden her storyline just comes out of nowhere about this. She's a girl who's been dismissive of her parents. She feels like her parents have always abandoned her. Literally came out of nowhere. And then the resolution is like, oh, it was dropped for a little bit. It comes back around, then it was just like, oh, alright, whatever. Let's keep moving. There's a lot of stuff like that. There's the introduction of the nurse's best friend, who they go to her house, and they kind of set her up as something's going to happen with her, and nothing happens with that story arc in the least bit. The whole show starts out with Takashi and Rei discussing because they're boyfriend girlfriend, or they used to be. They're separated, and then it kind of, you can tell that's an underlining tone throughout the whole series, their relationship, but then like it just stops mattering. And then we get this whole other thing with Takashi and Saito, and once again, it's very ambiguous. The show felt like it's something that should have been 24 to 26 episodes, and it stops at episode 12 with a cliffhanger. And I know there was supposed to be a season 2, but it eventually didn't happen because the director ended up moving on to different projects. But it felt like somebody was throwing out a bunch of cool ideas. Like, I know this is based on a manga. I'll get the name right eventually. Manga. There you go. Been watching X-Men too much lately. I know it's based on a manga, but it feels like no one really thought any ideas through, other than the fact that in this episode we're going to have people kill people, in this episode we're going to have more violence. Make sure when these people are having a serious conversation that the camera's focused on that girl's breasts. Things like that. Like, I can understand otaku people liking this, but as far as adults who want serious or even enjoy even lighthearted shows, this is definitely not it. The show constantly breaks its own rules. Like, there's this actual cool thing that they do with the zombies where they inform you that the zombies can't see. The only way they can attack you is by hearing you. That's fine, but they never really do anything with it. Outside of when they first came up with the idea, you constantly hear main characters screaming at each other in the middle of zombies, like, shut the hell up, you just made that rule, why the hell are you breaking it? Then we get to the last 3 episodes where you have a point where Takagi, the main character, is informing people to shoot the zombies in the chest. Why the hell would you do that? You already know that you have to shoot them in the head or decapitate them. Why the hell would you give them this terrible advice unless you wanted them to die? Other than looking good and having a premise that would probably be something good for young otaku, I don't see this series doing a lot good. It throws melodrama wherever it can, just for the sake of melodrama. Throws in violence when it can, just for the sake of throwing violence. And of course, its main asset is the fact that it will do fan service. It's a great deed. You want to see that what a woman looks like in a thong? There you go. You want to see this girl's tits? There you go. Without showing nudity. There's a whole episode in I believe episode 6 where they go to the nurse's friend's house, and it's basically the whole episode is a bath scene where all the girls come out of there acting like they're fucking drunk. And I just couldn't. This is where, when I originally saw it, I stopped watching it just because I didn't care. None of the characters are a whole lot likable. They are fun in places, but that's what this whole series is. It's fun in places, but as a whole, it's not really engaging. The story's not enough. The characters, as a survival film, if you're not going to go for the answer or what caused the outbreak, you at least have to have some likable characters that you can get along with. This doesn't. This is just, violence, fan service. Let's throw a little melodrama in here for no reason. And it's not a terrible show. Like I said, it has glimpses where it could be good, but all in all, that's about it. If I was to rate Highschool of the Dead, I'd probably give it a 5.3. It has some cool action sequences. The story just doesn't add up, and then it kind of ends unresolved. I understand that the guy who did it wanted to do a season 2, but went on to other projects, but and plus this is the type of show where it has nothing but corny titles. Every episode has dead in it. Sword of the Dead, Rain Walking of the Dead, The Dead House, things like that. If you're a teenager, you'll probably like it. If you're an older adult who has experienced life, it's probably gonna either offend you, fly over your head, or you'll just be kind of disinterested in it. So that's it for now. Hopefully later on I come back to you with a review of the movie, as well as a couple of other things. In the description below will be Jeff's latest adventures on the train, so if you like that, click on it, support my son. Other than that, talk to you later, people. Bye.